Hey, Mike, why don't you just go ahead and start off with your thoughts on the match against Louisville?
Hi, Katie. Yeah, can't argue with the result. Louisville deserve what they got. Credit to them. Wasn't the performance we were after. We gave ourselves a chance to be in the game, and Bella's kept winning it for a long period of time. But yeah, we just credit to Louisville. They got after us. We played into pressure a little bit too much. Missed opportunities to bypass the pressure. Yeah, I just think we were probably a little bit loose on the ball in terms of turning it over, and then obviously just didn't deal with set plays well enough.
All right, we'll start off with Ryan.
Hey, Mike, just wanted to get your thoughts on the defensive challenges tonight. Obviously, a lot of opportunities for Louisville. Bella saved a few, and then a few came off the post. I mean, what's your evaluation of the defensive struggle tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think we played the game too much in transition. Obviously, we look to adapt a couple of things first half in terms of the success that we're getting down the left, like our right side. We adjusted the shape at the top slightly. We changed it towards the end just based on how their fullbacks were getting out with too much time and space to then progress. And then I think just as the game got on, we just got a bit too stretched with the back line in terms of distances between them and the midfield. So then they just started playing off the front versus where first half was a bit more in behind.
And what can you say about Bella's performance? Obviously, she would have liked to get the result as well, but her performance overall.
In short, top. Yeah, like a really big performance from her. Some big saves, like I say, she kept away in the game for longer than what we probably should have been. So yeah, it's nice to see Bella put on that type of performance, but obviously not nice to be on the receiving end of the amount of chances and the quality chances that they had.
Do we have any other questions for Mike? If you do, use the raise your hand function. All right, looks like we have no other questions for you, Mike, so we'll let you go.
Thanks, kid.
If you wouldn't mind muting yourself for me.
Yeah.
Bella here.
Hey, Bella, thank you for taking the time. We're going to just jump right into questions, and we'll go ahead and start with Fook.
Hey, Bella, could you just talk to us about just their high press and press in general, and just how difficult it was for the team to build out the attack, especially from the back?
Yeah, credit to Louisville. They definitely, because obviously their tactic was to be high pressing and have a lot of numbers around the ball. They did that well. We knew that going into halftime that we were going to have to do a better job of breaking that press and exploit the spaces that those pressing players were leaving. I don't know that we did the best job at that. So yeah, I think we got transitioned. We got transitioned a lot in the second half, and set pieces weren't our best. So they definitely took advantage of that.
Yeah, and then Bella, could you also talk about just your performance sake? Because obviously you came up big on numerous occasions.
Sure. Definitely think it was one of my busier games in terms of like goal defending. I find myself in games oftentimes most busy with defending the box in terms of like crosses. So it's definitely one of my more busy games in terms of defending the goal. I just tried to stay neutral. I knew that there were moments where Louisville had momentum. So I just tried my best to be balanced, be calm, and do my best to handle the situations as they came.
All right, we'll go to Ryan.
Hey, Bella. Obviously not the result that the team wanted, but 2 weeks off now to recover before the rain game. How important is that going to be just to sort of reset things ahead of a big matchup?
Yeah, I think this obviously stings. It's not the result we wanted, but the blessing is, like you said, we have 2 weeks. Big game at home. We know, those of us that have played in this league before, that this is often the hardest part of the season, these last few games. And you definitely want to make your own momentum and not rely on maybe results you have. Anything can happen in this league. So it's really important that we're going into this next home game against OL Reign. It's a big game. It's a Cascadia rivalry. That we are our best selves and we play Thorns ID soccer and kind of get back to that. So this 2 weeks is going to be important for us to come together, keep building on, what went wrong today, what we did well today. But it'll be a good stretch of time for us to sort some issues out.
And obviously that game significant for the standings, but also for the fact that Megan Rapinoe making her final trip to Portland as a professional. As somebody who's from the Portland area, familiar with what she means to the city, what is your feeling ahead of that match?
Yeah, I mean, I think I try to approach any game the same, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that any Cascadia rivalry is going to have weight and meaning and, just that extra level of crazy. And we know that Pino, like I grew up watching Pino at University of Portland, and she's the face of the Seattle side of this rivalry. And so she's had a historic career, and we're gonna miss her in the league. She makes this rivalry a lot what it is. So yeah, I know that it's going to be a great match no matter what happens.
All right. Does anyone else have a question for Bella? No, I think we are good, Bella. So if you wouldn't mind muting yourself, thank you so much and enjoy a couple days off.
Thanks, Katie.
Hey, Kling.
Hi, Katie.
Thanks for taking the time. We'll just roll right into questions. We'll start it off with Ryan.
Hey, Kling. Obviously not the result that the team wanted out of this one, but what can you point to just as sort of learning points for the team ahead of the next match?
I think we were probably our own worst enemy tonight. We gave the ball away in spots that we don't usually give the ball away in. And that led to some counterattacks and transitions that were difficult to defend because we were in big shape. And I think that typically doesn't happen to this team. We've been playing really well in practice all week. We've been bopping around, looking good. So it's a little bit confusing to me why we were just not ourselves. But, we just got to get back to it. We have 2 weeks to kind of regroup and figure things out, and then just talk through a bit of tactics and make sure that we're all on the same page.
And what can you say about Bella's performance, despite the result?
Oh, Bella's amazing. We always I feel genuinely blessed to have her in net behind me because she comes up big when things break down, and she's the last resort, but she does her job well, and she came up really big tonight, and I'm really proud of her.
And then that next matchup against OL Reign, obviously big for the standings, big for the rivalry, but also, Meghan Klingenberg, you are someone who have played with Rapinoe over the years, and seeing her have the success she's had and be a force in the game over the years. What can you say kind of about the significance of her coming back to Portland for this final, I guess, time?
I think the greatest compliment that I and we could give her as the Thorns is to kick her ass when she comes to Providence Park. Yeah, I mean, Pino's a great friend, and she's an excellent person, and I love what she's done for the sport. She's totally changed the sport and the way that the sport is talked about, and has made it clear that she's going to use her voice and stand up for things that other people won't stand up for. She's brave, she's loud, she's hilarious. And I think it will be really fun to be on the field with her. It's always fun to be on the field with her, whether she's on my team or whether she's against me. But I think there's never been a player like Pino before, one that is just as loud and effective and authentic on the field as she is off. And I think it's really beautiful to have that type of role model, even though she's just being herself and probably doesn't even think of herself as a role model. She's just out there being who she is. But when you don't have anyone to look up to when you're little, when you don't see anybody, when you can't dream what you could be. And so Pino has been that person for a long time for a lot of young women, young men, young people. And so hopefully we will continue to see more of those type of people because they're needed.
All right, we're going to go to Fook next.
Hi, Kling. Can you just talk to us about Racing's press? It just seemed like they were just kind of all over the pitch, causing a lot of havoc and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Racing. I think they played a good game. And I think their transition was pretty lethal. But I think we played right into it. We shot ourselves in our own foot. Not to take anything away from them, but if we were more crisp, if we connected passes, if we skipped over top of their press, then we could have rendered it, a little bit, I don't know the word, but we would have gotten past it, and we would have, been able to make sure that we are on the front foot and doing the things that we need to do. I think, when we're not being ourselves, then we allow other teams to kind of dictate the pressure and dictate the pace of the match. And that's not usually what we do. So credit to them for, putting us under and making us feel like we're not in the space to be as crisp as we normally are. But it's a bit perplexing because it's not like we haven't seen this type of pressure before from different teams, and we've handled that. So I think it's just, letting this one go and then moving on and making sure we get back to practice with some clear heads and look forward to OL Reign.
And then Kling, the team does really, really well after a tough result. What does that say about just the team's resilience and determination heading into the next game?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
Yeah, so obviously after a tough result, the team does really well, just rebounding. What does that show about the team's determination and resilience?
Yeah, this team has more heart than any team I've ever been on. We've pulled results out of a hat that other people, that have been absolutely outrageous at the end of matches, whether it's for a tie or whether it's for a win. And that has happened with almost different players every single time on the pitch, stepping up big. And so this team will take the time that it needs to clear heads and take a little time off and feel, good about themselves. And then we're going to get back to it. And all we can do is just be who we are. And as long as we be who we are, we'll be fine. But we just need to make sure that when we show up, we're being ourselves.
All right. Well, Kling, we'll wrap it there. Thank you for your time and enjoy your days off.
Thank you. Bye.